Today I want to share my thoughts on the whole shoot to kill statement made by the Minister of National Security. I don't think I can dodge this one any longer, so I want to share my thoughts on the matter and let you guys know where I'm at. Do keep in mind, this is just my opinion. If yours differs, that's completely fine. We all have our own opinions and that's how it should be. For now though, let's dive right into it. There has been an uproar ever since the Minister of National Security told police officers at a graduation ceremony to ensure that anytime a man take up a gun after them, they should fire back and not miss. I personally don't see anything wrong with that statement, and in all honesty, the minister was just brave enough to say exactly what the rest of us was thinking. I personally don't believe that the minister was advocating that the police shift to a shoot to kill policy. As a matter of fact, that has never been the policy of the police. Nobody has to tell the police to fire back or make sure them no miss, because it has always been a part of training. So this is nothing new. As a matter of fact, the government need to educate persons, and surprisingly, even persons who think that they are educated are not really educated in the matters of policing. Government need to educate people as it relates to police role and responsibility, and civilians the same, because if they had known that the only reason for a police officer pulling their firearm, pointing it at somebody and fire is if they find themselves in imminent danger, and that's last resort, then this wouldn't even be a debate. So it just goes to show the level of literacy that some of these advocacy groups have. Police who in the street and no say are some barbarians them a deal with, and no say are some set of hooligans them have to deal with, have to secure for them 3 points at all costs. If a man is brave enough to pull a gun at police officers who are harmed, their only intention is to kill. And with that in mind, police have a constitutional right to defend for them life. That's just the reality. Policing is a very dangerous job, and we are living in serious times. There's no time to think, these criminals have a right to life when you are under heavy gunfire. The danger that police officers have to face not normal. The weapons that police officers are up against, them not normal neither. These weapons are far superior and far more dangerous than whatever the police have. These weapons are capable of tearing through police officers' body armor, right? And so police officers have to make maximum effort to defend themselves so they can make it back home safely to feed them families who them left at home and wait for them to come home. You understand what I say? I'm going to make this abundantly clear. Police officers don't automatically and randomly shoot people for no reason at all. As I said before, the only reason for police officers pulling their firearm, pointing it at somebody and firing is to neutralize threat to life. And whatever that may be can and will never be understood by people who don't know what danger feels like. People who have no clue what it means to come under heavy gunfire in the real world. Because if that was the case, what a different conversation this would be. I really don't care. Just because you can come up with a bunch of nice fancy words, that no make you an expert in the field of policing, right? In the field of what police officers face on a daily. So these so-called experts talking about the police should consider the lives of criminals. Not saying that they are completely wrong, but at what point of the confrontation should the police do that? During or after? Right? Let's look at this objectively. If a man points a gun at a police officer, he has only one intention, and we all know what it is. And the police is now left with one option, because they are now in last resort situation, desperation, split seconds to make a decision. In the real world, that is all you have. And that decision can be the difference between life and death. If police officers hesitate out there, dog name them supper. In the real world, police officers in situations like that have only two options. It's either kill or be killed. And I rather see my colleagues going home to their families at the end of each shift. The bottom line is this: police don't have the luxury to worry about the life of a criminal during a confrontation, or them are gonna end up dead. All they are thinking about is how can we get this under control and how can we make it out of this alive. If the police end up dead, then we would be having a different conversation, right? And I believe that in every confrontation with the police must always win, straight and simple. And I'm not saying anyone deserves to die, but we have to be realistic, right? The actions of criminals will trigger a chain of events that will, in some instances, end in tragedy. That's just the reality, and there's no two-way about it. Young men who engage the police must understand that their decisions have consequences. We must understand that our police officers are well trained in the use of firearm and are well trained to respond to threats to their life and to the life of citizens. They are well trained to shoot and not miss, and are trained to shoot for center mass where all the vital organs are: the heart, the liver, the kidney, the lung, right? In the face of imminent danger, police officers cannot hesitate and have to make decisions in the blink of an eye. So stopping to consider the right to life of the one trying to take theirs comes after the situation is contained. If a criminal is out there using a gun to kill innocent people and the police goes for that person and that person decides to engage police in a shootout, then the police will act accordingly. Criminals who are intent to end the life of an officer or anybody else for that matter should be prepared to face the consequences. And I would say this: those who are criticizing the minister don't have real world experience of what danger really looks like. I'm sure they would be singing a different song if they did. These people will never understand until they themselves are in a similar situation. They have never looked down the barrel of a gun with a criminal at the other end. They have never lost a family member to gun violence because they are well protected behind fence walls and grills with 24-hour security. But at them have the audacity to make statements about right to life. And then we wonder why criminals are so emboldened in Jamaica. I mean, it is great that we have people reminding us, of the fundamental right to life, and that the police are creatures of the law and are bound by the law and should act in accordance with what policy dictates. But we should not forget that the safety and lives of our police officers and law-abiding citizens takes precedence over that of criminal elements. Anyway, all of that said, I am incredibly curious to know what you guys think about the statement made by the security minister. So definitely let me know down below in the comments and be a part of the conversation over here at Sage Talk. Either way, that's been it. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.